The last global trade round collapsed last summer. What that means is the next president actually has the opportunity to start with a blank slate on the global trade agreements. That means NAFTA's got to be redone. It means that the World Trade Organization agreement has to be redone. There's some things that we should demand. This question of one country and one vote has got to be changed to a weighted vote, as we have at the World Bank, IMF, and UN. If we have 22% of the global economy, then we should have 22% of the votes. Our vote shouldn't be equal to Antigua, which has got 70,000 people. We need transparency. We're a democratic country. If we're going to be in a body that changes, that wants to change our laws, then we need to be able to see everything that happens there. And we need assurances that the decisions are made with integrity. We need to change this gap, discrimination against American producers. Those are things that we should demand before we even talk about the tough stuff on trade. We're saying these things we need right now. Another batch of things that we need is we need an independent commission to do a study of how do we get in this financial crisis. We have had massive deception and theft. There are people who have stolen from the American people. We need to identify those people and bring them to justice. We need to force them to disgorge, give back those assets. And then we need to engage ourselves in real regulation, global regulation of the financial world. We're at a point where we can't afford to allow companies to cheat on their taxes, run to the Caymans, have their quote headquarters in Bermuda and say they make no money in the U.S. We're in a situation today where we have massive gamesmanship. Each year, I was a consultant to the International Division of the U.S. Internal Revenue Service for a time, helping track down tax cheats. This country loses about $325 billion a year just because of cheaters. We need to stop that because the rest of us have to pay for that. And then finally, I think that we're at a point where we need to carefully consider and think about either a constitutional amendment that allows Congress to regulate campaign finance, or basically what we've got to say is we're going to have public financing, at least of our national elections. We have an uncompetitive democracy. The safest job in the world is to win a seat in the U.S. Senate or the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives, normally there are 20 or 30 seats that are competitive. This will be different because we're in a crisis. I think we'll see the Republicans drop down to about 160 members in the House of Representatives. But this is normal. The other thing that we've got to do is we've got to get into the question of how we district, how we draw these district lines. Basically, what you have is gerrymandering done so that members get seats that they hold forever. We need a competitive democracy. The state of Iowa has done this. They've set it up, have a commission. The rest of the country needs to do that. So my message is basically simple. This is doable. We can put ourselves back on the growth path. We can reclaim our democracy inside this country. But if this is to be done, it's going to require the kinds of changes that happened massively in 1933, 1934. The crisis that we have is every bit as deep as it was at that time. And moreover, we're in a world, if we let this system fly apart, we're going to see nationalism, we'll see it's up to us as a country to deal with it. So what has been an interest of a handful of people in the past, I think is increasingly going to be an interest of all people inside this country. And it's a very good thing that this self-selected group came here. What we've got to do as we go through time is fill the room. And so people can understand what's happening, the roles that they can play, and how to do it. And later I look forward to seeing the papers and the winners here and taking your questions. Mason, we turn it back to you.